Well, good morning and welcome to Cooking in the Kitchen with DC Coast to Coast and Boom Chang Records right here in the northeast of England. Today I've got a wonderful family band here today. Harmonies that are absolutely beautiful. I heard the harmonies once about 6 months ago and I was absolutely astounded that I had to invite them into the kitchen. So here they are, Ribbon Road. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you all doing? Did you have a nice trip in?
Well, all right,
Not
yes.
bad, not bad.
Because you live a little bit up in the country. Well, I know you don't, but...
Yes, we live up in the hills near the Scottish border.
The Scottish borders. So how long did that take you to get down here this morning?
Just 3/4 of an hour.
Well, that's not bad, is it?
No trouble at all.
Nice and easy to get into Newcastle.
Yes.
So great. Do you want to introduce yourselves as we go around?
Yes, well, I'm Jeff Heslop.
Yeah.
Brenda Heslop.
Anna Heslop.
And Jill Heslop.
Whoa, 4 Heslops. Brilliant. Excellent. Well, that's really good. So how did you come to get together? I mean, Jeff, I believe your history in folk music actually goes back a few years, doesn't it? And
Yes, more than we possibly want to admit, yes. Well, we started off in the sort of late 60s, really, at Impulse Studios.
All right, in Waltham, the famous
yes,
Impulse
as an engineer.
Right.
And then we started to put out albums by some of the people who came in, because there were some amazing people, including Lindisfarne and various people.
Okay.
And then formed a label called Rubber Records.
Oh, right,
And then I worked on that really for about the next 25, 30 years,
Oh, well done you.
producing lots of albums.
It must have been great working with all them musicians. I
It
mean, did you
was.
learn from that as well? Was it a good
goodness.
experience?
Especially the singing.
Right.
Yes. You know, because I mean, this is what Ribbon Road's about, is mainly the vocals.
Yeah.
And I worked with some fantastic singers.
I've got to say the first time I heard you was in the acoustic room down in the Lowlights.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I'd really experienced the group, and Jed had sold it so much as, oh, you've got to come down and hear these guys. And I think you were playing accordion at the time.
I was,
actually.
I think, yes.
But you played it so subtly, and the sound was just beautiful. I was just blown away by it, you know. So I'm glad you have come down today to maybe do some of this stuff. So Brenda, how did you get involved with Jeff?
I'm a farmer's daughter, and I lived near where Jeff put his studio together.
Oh, right.
And my brother, we used to sing as a family in my family, just local stuff, you know. And my brother kept saying, you know, you should record, and other people did, and I didn't think I should. But anyway, I went to see Jeff, and we did. And it sold all right. It was mostly songs about curlews and things like that, because I worked on the farm, you see, the shepherding and things, and that's what I loved.
Right.
So that's what I wrote about. And then, but I thought I would love to go a little bit further. So Jeff says, well, I'll help you if you want. So we started on the journey of a different sort of writing, and I had to learn from scratch.
Brilliant.
And learn to sing as well. That was one of the first things Jeff said was, oh, has somebody told you can sing? Oh, well, yes, actually.
She's never forgotten it.
Was that Larry?
So I had it all to learn. And a great teacher, of course. So here we are today.
That's absolutely fantastic. And I believe you're the new addition, are you?
Yeah.
Have you sang with a group before?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, just started. We went to a few gigs and I knew all their songs anyway.
Oh, that's
So
good.
I just started doing it.
Well done, you. And you're doing some of the accompanying and singing some as well?
Yeah, and I've been doing it for a good few
10
years
years or
now,
so, yeah.
So we were living on Eastdale Island, I think,
Yes.
up by Oban in
It
Scotland.
sounds like you've lived
at
in
the
some
time.
very interesting
Yeah,
places.
no, it's a very lovely little island, and we were all living up there and just started singing.
Do
then, really,
you think
yeah.
that sort of lifestyle's had an effect on your music?
I live in town now, you see, so it's obviously brought up in the middle of nowhere, in the countryside, in the middle of Northumberland, and then in Glasgow.
I think in the imagery
Yeah.
It's got to, isn't it?
with Brenda's songs, I mean,
Yeah.
Brenda writes them all.
Right.
I think it came up through the imagery really more
Did
than
it?
anything else.
I
You
can
know, we
imagine.
lived on this tiny little island. You know, and you got an open boat to go there, you know, with your
Really?
Tesco shopping and stuff, you know.
Sounds amazing.
I had a job as running an arts centre. It was really interesting,
sounds
you know,
brilliant,
for a few years.
Yeah, of course,
and then
yeah.
we were very pleased to get back,
I
you know.
bet.
But it comes out in lots of ways. And there were some great musicians there too, which was good. Lots of pipers and, you know, all that sort of stuff.
What's that stuff? Well, since we've introduced you, we know what you do. Do you fancy doing the first song? for us?
Yeah,
What's
sure.
this one called?
This one's called Poor Jossie. We've just brought a CD out to do with, well, it's all about the 84-85 miners' strike.
All right.
And it was the album's inspired by photographs taken by Keith Patterson
Okay.
And he's fairly well known.
Yeah.
And he made a book of his photographs, and he showed us that book, and he also showed us a film of his stills that he was working on.
Oh, right.
And they were very, very moving.
Right.
So I just started to write, and he said that was fine. And we've got about 10 or 12 songs. And so this one is particularly about, it's in Easington, set in Easington.
Oh.
And they sent a lot of police into Easington because they were a fairly young coal mine, fairly young, a lot of men, and quite militant. And of course, Maggie Thatcher was dead scared of them and their unions, because the union was the strongest union of all. And it's a story of a few pictures put together of a retired miner who was doing no harm, but he couldn't do any harm. And he was arrested on the street, and the women went mad, and the wife was trying to say, let him go, let him go.
Okay.
And they took him away in a van. So it's all about that.
Well, take us away and let us hear that then. That sounds great.
Give us a note, Joe. That taking, I've forgotten the note, I've lost myself. Yeah. That taking him away made a criminal today. Doesn't matter what I say, they hate us. They'll put him in a cell, they don't care that he's not well, 'cause they wish us all to hell, they want to break us. Look, I can see him in the van, I'll be lost without me man. They're pulling at his arms, they want to do him harm. Don't they know he has a heart that doesn't hold him? His lungs are full of dust, he retired 'cause he must. They're the ones who broke the trust, it's on their shoulders. Look, I can see him in the van, I'll be lost without me man. There's no mercy in this pit street, they won't let him go. And we're all shouting off Alma Pit Street, screaming, let him go. See that look upon his face, it's out of hand and out of place. Don't steal the days that still belong to me. Oh, they haven't got a clue what people like us do. I'm telling it to you, 'cause they just won't let us through. Stuck together with the strongest glue. I can see him in the van, I'll be lost without me man. There's no mercy in this pit street, they won't let him go. And we're all shouting off Alma Pit Street, screaming, let him go. So I'm standing in the yard, and I know he's fallen hard. And I'm leaning on the gate, where he knows that I will wait for him to go.
That is fantastic, that. Well, I was in the pit.
Yeah.
I was in that street. Harmonies again, I can't say enough. It's absolutely beautiful, the harmonies. So well done. I absolutely love that. Very good. So that's on the CD you've got out currently,
Yeah,
is it?
it is. We've been doing actually touring the show. Keith asked us originally to contribute some music to a film he was making, but it actually ended up that Brenda wrote 10 songs, and then Keith made 10 short films to go with the
did he
songs,
really?
so they
Okay.
came back on us again.
Yeah.
So we've been performing the songs live together with showing the films.
That's excellent.
Which is
So that
interesting.
works
Forest
really
Gump, I've
quite
never
well.
done anything like that before, and the reaction is just
I bet it's
fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
The thing is,
really.
when you put music with imagery, it actually brings the images to life.
It
for me.
opens it, doesn't it?
You
You
know,
know, instead of
images
just telling
to-
them about it, they can
Exactly.
see it. And,
Yeah.
the photographs are stunning.
It works hand in hand. doesn't
Yeah,
it?
they're sort of more personal than political, if you know what I mean. He went in and he was there for months and got to know everybody, and so there's a lot in the houses and a lot of the way people just lived, and you know, it's a very human kind of a document rather than just a sort of tub-thumping political one, you know.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
very good.
It does make a difference, doesn't it?
It suits Brenda's writing, really.
Yeah, well, it did sound absolutely fantastic. So how can people connect to that? I mean, are you all social media'd up? How do you do that?
We are, yes. Well, the website, of course, ribbonroadmusic.com.
Okay, let them know. They're right
Yeah,
there.
and a Facebook site,
All
just /Ribbon Road. So, you know, we are there.
You're
If
connected
anybody
in the-
wants...
We
yes,
are, and a lot
yes.
of the videos which we've put together with the films can be seen on YouTube as well.
Well, they
so you
can.
see a lot
Yeah,
of
there's
with the
four
images
of
from
the
comparison.
films, actually, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to go and look at that because I didn't know they were there. So I'm going to
Yeah.
check it out.
And Jill even does Twitter.
I even do
don't
Twitter
really-
occasionally.
I don't really
tweet.
understand that.
Yeah, it is the new way of the world, isn't it?
So they say.
I mean, it must be interesting for you because you've been in a record company many years ago, knowing how you made your connections, your distribution,
Yeah.
and how to do it nowadays is a completely different world.
You have
Isn't
to
it?
relearn, you know, and I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't learned all of it by any means yet.
It's a slow process.
But there just isn't anything that's anywhere near the same.
No,
There just isn't.
it has changed
Yeah,
massively.
yeah. I mean, I used to have to go around the shops and put the displays up and, you know, all the rest of it.
Knock on the doors and
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely different way. So next song, what's the next song going to be?
Well, the next song's called Dad and Me, and it's one of the lighter songs of the album, and it's set in the summer of the strike, and because the dads weren't at work, so they weren't down the mines, and the mine at Easington, which is in County Durham, I'll say just in case somebody doesn't know, but the pit's right on the sea, so it would go into the sea. So in the summer, everyone was on strike, and the dads were at home, and they spent time with their families and with their kids. Kids got time to spend with their families, and the sea was clean, so the kids could go in the sea.
Good
And there's
sea.
lots of lovely
It's a different
photos of the kids
aspect to
jumping in.
to the picture that
It's a
people
fun,
paint,
yeah,
isn't it?
definitely. But obviously within a year of strike, and there's a lot
And
of
it was a
different
great
stories and a lot of different
yeah.
life that went on.
It was a great summer as well. It
Yeah,
was really
hot.
good. And he's got lots of photographs of all the kids diving in off like bits of debris and stuff. You
The
know.
kids wouldn't know really what the complications were in their parents' lives at that
kind
time.
of way.
Definitely not. So yeah, so it's just a little song about that, and me and Anna take the lead a little on
Do
it.
you?
So
Oh, I'm
yeah, we
looking
do, we
forward.
do.
Sister
To this.
Power.
Sister power.
Well, take it away when you're ready.
I hear the voices singing in the sea. All the young lads are daring to be free. Everyone on holiday, everybody's dad at home. I hear the voices clear as a bell, out in the sunshine laughing at ourselves. Who would deny the kids a day like this?
Clear as the sea, near as can be, the pit lies still. There's flowers on the hillside, we all hold our breath. We're that close to death, we've stickled Dad's feet. There's not much to eat. Sometimes it's good to be free from the tether. Sometimes it's good to breathe air and feel weather. Clear as the sea, near as can be, Dad and me. Out for the day, out of the way, just for a while. Some even smiling, and everyone shares, everyone caring, we all get a piece, we can all take a seat. Sometimes it's good to be free from the tether. Sometimes it's good to breathe air and feel weather. Out for the day, out of the way, Dad and me. Sit by the sea, fishing with me. Dad sets the rods, then he Washed in the sun, oh, we had some fun. Mam loves fish for tea and a big kiss from me. Sometimes it's good to be free from the tether. Sometimes it's good to breathe air and feel weather. Sit by the sea, fishing for tea, Dad and me. Out on the beach, playing for hours, swinging and laughing in boats without stopping. Mam in the waves with her skirts up and squeaking. Everyone jumping and Mam and Dad speaking. Sometimes it's good to be free from the tether. Sometimes it's good to breathe air and feel weather. Out on the beach, playing out Mam, Dad and me. Sometimes it's good to be free from the tether. Sometimes it's good to breathe air and feel weather. Clear as the sea, near as can be, Dad and me.
Get in. Absolutely brilliant. Well, as I've always said, I love how these songs can paint pictures and how you can actually be there. And for you to actually sing that as well from that perspective is absolutely brilliant. You sound beautiful, actually, by the way. It's really, really good voice. Not to be expected. I mean, you must have a challenge. Is it growing up with your sister singing and playing well, or how do you feel?
Because we're kind of like best friends.
We're best friends.
Your best friends, that's a good way to be.
Except when they're arguing.
Yeah.
Well, as people do.
Yeah.
What do you think it's like for me?
Well, that's exactly. I can imagine my father-in-law had 3 daughters and a wife, four women in the house, and I can imagine. Really, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yes, I've got another daughter as well.
You have another daughter
I
as
always
well?
remind them of King Lear, who had a few problems with 3 daughters, I remember. They all insist they were the nice one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the youngest one that's a nice one, and I'm the
Oh, I
youngest
see,
one,
all
so
right.
I win.
Well, there you go. There's no argument with that. Brilliant. So that's very good. So you've done that performance-wise. It's gone out. It's gone down very well.
It is, yeah.
Next level for you? Are you sticking with this for a while? Or are you moving on to the next project?
Well, we
What's
actually
the
would
next
like
season?
to develop the idea a bit. We're not really sure how at the moment, but I've used quite a lot of sort of spoken voices within the songs on the album, and we were sort of playing with the idea of maybe introducing a dramatic element of some sort, you know, to get people to actually
Rip and Roll the
speak the
musical.
lines, or you know, there's a lot more material available, letters and things like that. So I think we're trying to get a little bit of funding really to develop it.
I think that would be
In a
fantastic. To actually
dramatic
take it on the
kind of
road
way,
and
and,
bring
you
in the
know,
acting
just a little
side,
bit
yeah.
more,
Yeah.
but we're not sure how, in what direction.
I'm
to
sure
take.
you'll make some connections. And,
Yeah.
you know, you can tell the people at some stage they know where to connect with you, don't they?
Absolutely,
So
yes, yeah.
it's just getting the word out there, get the message out and see how it develops. Brilliant. So what's the next song?
Well, the next song is actually, it's about, I think it was only about a couple of weeks ago actually, that was the 30th anniversary of the final vote to go back to work.
All right.
And this song's called Last Paying Day. And it was obviously a time of mixed feelings really, because they lost basically, I suppose you could say.
Right.
And it was a very sad thing,
Yeah.
but also I suppose quite a lot of relief, because I mean the people hadn't had much to eat or anything.
It was a long period, wasn't
yeah,
it?
they had a long time, a year of nothing, and of course, you know, the government changed the benefit rules and everything against them. I mean, no, it's not a good story at all. It's not something that we should be proud of in our history.
No.
But we like to, I like to think that they're not only about the miners' strike, they're about life today.
Yes.
I wanted to make that connection so it's still relevant. We're going on about the miners and that, but these songs are from the human point of view rather than political.
Well, it
It's
can
what it
connect with any
feels like.
family,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So last
Any
paying
hard
day,
times.
it might be somebody out there's last paying day.
Yeah.
And
Today
what
or-
are they going to
yeah,
do?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's I try and do that when I write.
I think
just
that's
to
part of
more.
the appeal that they have actually, because I mean we don't it is a piece of history, I suppose. But as that's not enough.
Yeah.
You know, it has to click, with people now. And a lot of the people who are listening to it were very small when all this was happening, or not alive at all.
Yeah. And others didn't even know half of what.
Yeah, so, you need to make that extra connection. And I think Brenda does with her songs, I think.
That's really good. I love
The
the
Try and
language
do it.
does, yeah.
Anyway, this is when they get together, isn't it?
I will. I'll just close the show out though. We're going to say thank you to Ribbon Road for coming along today. I've absolutely loved the harmonies. I hope you have too. And they're going to close up. What was the name of the last song again you told me?
Last Paying Day.
Right. So we're going to listen to their last song, which is called Last Paying Day, and I hope you enjoy. Take care.
There's a place inside where the mists roll down, where wrong isn't right and a smile's not a frown. It's broken up and it's all in bits, and the square hole isn't where the round bit fits. And I've never been a one who doesn't work hard. I've never been one to take it that far, but to do this to an innocent mind is a shock to the system and a blast to the blind. Anything can happen if this is true. Nothing's gonna save us if this falls through. And I've never been a one not to work all day. I've never been one to turn away. But if it's all they can offer, if it's all they can do, I've seen it all, I've seen it through. All these men sitting in this room, it cuts like a knife through the morning gloom. There's a place inside where the whistle blows. I get up in the morning 'cause the cock still crows. I say to me pigeons and I say to the dog, but the kids are gone and the fishing rod. And I've never been a one for idle hands. I've never lived off any other man. But if this is the deal, if this is the way, then I've seen my last paying day. There's a place inside where everybody goes, where nobody cries, but they all know what it is to be bullied, to be driven apart. It's a place they used to call your heart. And I've never been a one not to give a hand. I've never been one not to understand. But we're all sitting here black and blue, without any choice of what to do. They hold up their guns and we reach for the sky. Everybody knows it's do or die. And I've never been a one not to keep me word. I've never been one to make myself heard. But if this is the deal, if this is the way, then I've seen my last paying day. If this is the deal, if this is the way, then I've seen my last paying day. There's a place inside where the mists roll down, where wrong isn't right and a smile's not a frown. It's broken up and it's all in bits, and the square hole isn't where the round bit fits. And I've never been a one who doesn't work hard. I've never been one to take it that far. To do this to an innocent mind is a shock to the system and a blast to the blind. Anything can happen if this is true. Nothing's gonna save us if this falls.
Save us if this falls.